My presentation is going to be broken down in about 5 parts. I'm going to start with an overview of the Muslim Brotherhood, then show how the Muslim Brotherhood has spread into the United States. I'll then move and show how the Saudis are connected to these organizations. Then I'm going to go through a little bit about the Holy Land Foundation trial, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, where there were some incredible documents that were revealed for the first time showing these links. And finally, I'm going to talk specifically about one of these mainstream organizations, CAIR. So let's start with the Muslim Brotherhood. You can see their motto: Allah is our objective, the Prophet is our leader, Quran is our law, jihad is our way, dying in the way of Allah is our highest hope. As you can see, this motto conveys the radical nature of the Brotherhood. Regardless of how current leaders argue it's peaceful and democratic, clearly if this is what's driving you, it's not. Next, I want to just give you a brief history of the Muslim Brotherhood, who it is, how it formed. It was founded as an Islamic revivalist movement in 1928 by schoolteacher Hassan al-Banna. Its goal is the implementation of Sharia, or Islamic law. Early in its history, it focused on education and charity. But then it became heavily involved in politics and remains a major player on the Egyptian political scene today, despite the fact that it is an illegal organization that was banned in 1948. The movement has grown exponentially, had merely about 800 people in 1936, grew to over 2 million by 1948, and today is pervasive throughout the world with covert and overt branches. As you can see here, the Muslim Brotherhood reach is quite extensive. Every significant Sunni terrorist organization has its roots in the Muslim Brotherhood, which claims to be peaceful and democratic. You can see a few highlights on the right. You can see Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and at the bottom you have Al-Qaeda. Mohammed Akef, the Muslim Brotherhood leader, was speaking about his views of America in a PBS Frontline video. Some may ask, well, maybe this is in the past and his views have changed, because people's views sometimes do change. But as recently as May of 2008, Mohammed Akef was asked, regarding resistance and jihad, do you consider Osama bin Laden a terrorist or an Islamic mujahid, a holy warrior? His answer, in all certainty, a mujahid, and I have no doubt in his sincerity in resisting the occupation. He was then asked about his previous denial about the existence of Al-Qaeda and said, the name is an American invention. Al-Qaeda is a concept and organization, just comes from tyranny and corruption. And when he was asked whether or not he supports Al-Qaeda and to what extent, his answer, yes, I support its activities against the occupiers. Now we're going to move into the second part here, showing how the Muslim Brotherhood has spread to the West. The Muslim Brotherhood has spread its tentacles throughout the United States and throughout Europe. This list is not comprehensive, although I'm sure you recognize some of the names there. There are others that include IIIT, the International Institute for Islamic Thought, the Muslim Public Affairs Council, and there are others. So you can see a few here. You have CAIR, which I'll focus specifically on later in this presentation, which was formed as an outgrowth of the IAP. You have the Muslim Students Association, ISNA, the Muslim American Society, which is also located just a few miles from here in Alexandria, Virginia, and was founded in 1993 with the help of Muslim Brotherhood leader. Now I'm going to quickly run through a little timeline here of the Muslim Brotherhood groups in the US and how they got here. In 1962 and 63, the Muslim Student Association was founded by members of the Muslim Brotherhood who came together at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Their goal was to spread Islam as students in North America. Two of the founders, Ahmed Tatonji and Jamal Barzinji, have gone on to have other radical ties. Tatonji became a key player in the Muslim Brotherhood-dominated SAR network. The SAR network is in Northern Virginia, as you may know, and federal investigators have alleged that they have financial ties to Al-Qaeda, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and Hamas. The SAR network is composed of over 100 companies, charities, and organizations with interlocking board of directors. Jamal Barzinji became the director of IIIT, which is located in Northern Virginia and has been under federal investigation for over 2 years. As you see, NATE was formed in 1971. It owns the deeds to thousands of mosques and Islamic centers throughout the United States. In 1980 and 81, ISNA was formed, and NATE now has become a constituent organization of ISNA. ISNA, by the way, was listed as an unindicted co-conspirator in the Holy Land Foundation trial, which I'll get to shortly. As we continue here, see the Islamic Association of Palestine. CAIR grew out of the Islamic Association of Palestine. In an infamous 93 meeting in Philadelphia, Muslim Brotherhood leaders and Hamas sympathizers discussed ways to derail the recent Oslo Accords, but they also discussed the establishment of a new organization in Washington, and the next year CAIR was formed. Now the next part of the presentation is going to show the links between the Saudis and CAIR. Now, CAIR denies receiving any foreign funding from any sources from governments or organizations. However, the evidence just does not support their claim. In a Saudi embassy press release in August 1999, the Islamic Development Bank, a Saudi-based entity, donated $250,000 towards the purchase of land in DC for the headquarters of CAIR. Additionally, CAIR received significant financial support from the World Assembly of Muslim Youth, WAMI, a Saudi-supported group that publishes hateful material. For example, it advises Muslims to, quote, teach our children to love taking revenge on the Jews and the oppressors and make jihad for the sake of Allah. WAMI is the world's largest Muslim youth organization, founded in Saudi Arabia in 1972. In December of 1999, WAMI announced at a press conference in Riyadh, where Nihad Awad, CAIR's executive director, was in attendance, stating that it was, quote, extending both moral and financial support to CAIR in its effort to construct a $3.5 million headquarters in Washington, D.C. But there's still more. In November 2002, the Muslim World reported that CAIR and WAMI would cooperate on a $1 million PR campaign. And then a $500,000 donation from Al-Walid bin Talal for putting Islamic materials into libraries. Now, while this shows that CAIR's original statement that they don't receive any funding from foreign sources does not seem to be accurate, their own leadership has contradicted them. Nihad Awad in 2006 said, quote, we are planning to meet Prince Al-Walid bin Talal for his financial support to our project. He has been generous in the past. Now, we're going to move into section 4 and talk about the Holy Land Foundation trial a little bit. For those of you that don't know, the Holy Land Foundation was the largest Muslim charity in the United States, and it was shut down by the Treasury Department in 2001. Last year, there was a trial, and it resulted in a hung jury. The retrial of HLF and 5 of its former officials is set to begin on Monday with jury selection. They're accused of funneling millions of dollars collected in the United States to a web of Palestinian charities controlled by Hamas. Included as unindicted co-conspirators in this trial, CAIR, ISNA, and NATE. If nothing else, what this case has exposed is the depth of the Muslim Brotherhood activity within the United States. As I'm going to show you shortly, there's many exhibits that were made public showing clear connections, affiliations, and relationships between the Muslim Brotherhood and member organizations in the United States.